everybody, welcome to another video. This one's the LPH50. Just a quick before I start, just to say thanks for all the subscriptions, the likes, the comments, etc. It is much appreciated, especially the regulars. Always chip in, it's always good to see, and is very much appreciated, so thanks everybody. LPH50. The reason I did the video, well, a couple of reasons really, but there seems to be absolutely nothing on YouTube about it. I did a comparison, a physical comparison between the LPH80 and this one, the LPH50. I did just a spray pattern test at the end of the video, so I'll put a link in the description so you can find it. But this one has the E2 cap, which is the smaller fan pattern than the E4 cap, which is normally on the LPH80. And the main difference is, apart from obviously the slightly smaller fan, is that this actually uses less air. The LPH80 uses very little air anyway. It's something like 2.2 or 2.4 CFM. This actually uses 1.8 CFM. So if you're a guy at home and you're struggling for air, say you've got a 25 litre compressor, a small hobby compressor or whatever, then something like this you can actually run. Now we all know something like this would do smaller stuff, models and things like that without any problem. But I thought, okay, well let's see what it does with a 3.5 gallon motorcycle tank, just to see how difficult it was or how bad it coped with it. And I was really surprised because it coped with it admirably. It done it really, really well. It is slow. You would expect it to be quite slow, but it's not that slow. And the results are absolutely superb. You'll see a high resolution video at the end of the results. So I guess I'm doing the video just to show people that you can do something like this if you have very little air. And not the best extraction system in the world, because as I say, the overspray, the amount of overspray, because the pressure is so low, it runs at 0.9 bar, which is about 13 psi, and the consumption is so low as well. It's ideal for the guy at home that occasionally will want to do bigger stuff like this. If you're going to spray your car, then forget it. But certainly if sort of stuff like this, maybe a little bit bigger, is the biggest stuff you're going to do, and most of the stuff is smaller, certainly think about something like this, because it will enable you to do it without upgrading the rest of your equipment, if that makes sense. And you'll see the finish at the end. As I say, it came out really, really superb. The atomization on these things is really good, even at such a low pressure. They atomize really well. People have said to me that the E4 cap atomizes better than the E2. I don't think it atomizes any better at all. It gives you a bigger fan. It uses more air because of the amount of air it uses. It gives you a little bit more fluid, so it makes it a bit faster. But I don't confuse the speed with the atomization, because the atomization is, I think, just as good on this. So as I say, it covers a market where the hobbyist, I guess, that wants to do model tanks, cars, things like that, but maybe would do the odd motorcycle bit and things like that. It absolutely covers that. So I would highly recommend it for that. And there was no videos on YouTube about it at all when I looked. Only the comparison one I did, and another chap's got one where mainly talks about airbrushes and just comparing the different bits to an airbrush. So I thought I'd make the video, and we just try really, see if we could do a bike tank. Just putting heat into it now for the second coat, and you can see what it comes out like in the end. The atomization really tells, because it comes out superbly, and it shocked me is the wrong word, but it surprised me with how competent it was at doing something like this. As I say, I wouldn't recommend it if this is the sort of stuff you're going to do all the time. I wouldn't really recommend it. There's other guns that I would recommend to do that. But if you are limited to everything as far as air and the overspray and things like that, if you've got close neighbours and things like that, and you want to keep things down to a minimum, ideal for something like that. And you can spray your models and things like that, and be able to do bigger stuff like this from time to time with ease. You can see the size of the fan. It's not particularly good, but it puts out a reasonable amount of fluid. It's a 1.0 tip. This they do them in 0.4, 0.6 and 1mm tip, so they don't go as high as the LPH80, which goes up to 1.2, although the tips are all interchangeable and the caps are interchangeable as well. So if you've got an LPH80 in 1.2 and one of these in 1.0, you can put the, you know, each tip in each other and swap the caps over to your heart's content. Probably not loads of point in doing it, but it does give you different options, I suppose. Another thing with these, it depends where you buy them. If you buy them certainly in the UK from like an proper Iwata dealer, they're very, very expensive. But if you buy them from Japan, just have a look on eBay or something like that, they're actually quite a bit cheaper. So they're a really good spray gun to get you going into the bigger stuff, allow you to do the smaller stuff, and not make you upgrade the rest of your stuff really. If you've got a small sort of like extraction unit that you use at home and a small compressor, it'll run this no problem. And as I say, the idea of doing this is so that you can see that you can do something like a bike tank like this. This is a 3.5 gallon bike tank, which is about 17.5 litres, something like that. About a 3.8 gallon tank, in fact, I think it is. So it's a reasonable size. You can do something like this with relatively limited air and limited extraction, and get a damn good finish. As I say, you'll see in a second the high resolution video, and I think you'll agree that it really is a superb finish. It surprised me how good it was, and it didn't really frustrate me. I guess it's because I thought it would take a long time to do, and it didn't take that long. I mean, you can look over the video and time it, but cracking little gun, really well made, like a watch, really superb gun. I really enjoyed using it, and I'm glad I decided to have a go at doing it, because it taught me a lesson really to not underestimate these little things, because they are superb. You can see the finish is absolutely superb. As I say, I wouldn't recommend it to do a car, because it'd be stupid, wouldn't it? It'd be silly. But to do stuff like this, it's a perfect finish. And you see how much overspray there was, virtually nothing. And I just turned the compressor on at the start to build up air, and just turned it off, because you don't need hardly any air to run these things. So highly recommended for the chap at home who wants to do a little bit of stuff like this, but doesn't want to upgrade the rest of his equipment really, and doesn't mind the time that it takes. Alright then guys, well thanks for watching all the videos, and as I say, thanks for the likes and subscriptions, etc. I'm going to leave you with the beautiful finish achieved by the LPH80 in 1.0 with the E2 cap. Thanks for watching guys, cheers, thank you, bye bye.